the call.
I would not record. Doctor is recording the call.
Maybe we should just do our thing. Do our thing.
Okay, it says, Taryn, are you there?
That was me. I did the chat.
Say my screen went blue and yeah.
That was a little chat feature where we can have a chat. Or I could raise my hand. See, I just raised my hand.
This could be more fun than talking about anything in particular. You know.
Well, what do we want to talk about? We could ever say, what does Todd want to talk about? Current events or?
You guys, I always dominate the calls, and I'm well aware of this, and I don't want anybody to think that I plan it that way.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
I don't think you plan it
I have
that
a
way.
big mouth, okay? I have a big mouth, but I don't plan it that way. So if you all have something you want to talk about, you tell me.
We do have one thing we can tell you about.
You tell her.
Do we tell her?
Yeah.
So it's that time of year again for the Atlanta Cupid Undies Fun Run.
Oh, that's right.
The fundraiser for neurofibromatosis, which, as you know, that is what Todd has. Neurofibromatosis is a birth defect. You remember we talked about it quite extensively, I think. But, you know, just to refresh, you know, it's a birth defect. That's why he's an EMT. That's why he's
in Children's Tumor Foundation.
And Children's Tumor Foundation. So it is on February 11th. It's going to be at the Event Tide Brewing, which is a new location. I think that's over on the Beltway. I've actually been there before. I don't think you've been there before.
Grant Park.
Yeah, it's kind of in the Grant Park area. So I think it actually might be on the Beltway. You know, they used to have it in Buckhead, but I think they had to close the street down on a Saturday and made everybody kind of Buckhead people crazy, you know, or whatever. They couldn't get to Phipps or whatever. It's been, but So what we're going to do is we're going to be registering. We usually join this team, and the team is called Keep It Brief.
Keep it brief. Yeah.
Appropriate.
Yeah. It's an Undies Fun Run, and we're okay. Never mind. And so what we'll do is once we get a link, we'll send you guys a link, and if you ever felt like you wanted to donate something, then you can donate.
And you can show up and wear red panties and bra and down the street and not get arrested. We did. We ran around in red underwear. Nothing happened. How often you get the chance to do that? Just
so you don't want to scare anybody, we run around like in some pretty modest underwear.
Boxers.
We leave the more underwear less wearing to the more qualified, to the younger people.
Call it the more qualified.
The frat boys and the frat girls and the sorority girls.
The problem for me is I'm a very qualified underwear wearer. Okay, I could easily wear underwear at your event. I promise you, I'm not bragging. But after, well, how am I not? I am so old now, I can't even tell you. It's time for plastic surgery. But after, let's just say, a lifetime of exercise and physical fitness, I'm still looking like I'm 20.
All right. Yeah, so do you want to run around in your underwear with us?
I could, but the problem is it's too dang cold.
Oh yeah.
You know what's so funny is every year we've done it though, it's never been that bad. Like last year, it was actually really nice. You know, it was the winters in Atlanta are so mild now. The past few years that we've done them, they had to kind of time out for the pandemic. So we didn't do one then, and then I think last year was when the first year they did it against the pandemic, and it was actually pretty nice. But even before the pandemic, the Februarys are pretty mild in Atlanta now. So I don't know, but that's supposed to be part of the fun. So this whole thing, when we understand, it started up north, like in Boston, and they do them all year round, and that's supposed to be part of the fun of it. You're running in your underwear in February, you know.
But it's a variety of ages, young kids and even older folks in their 80s.
And some people get dressed up in their costumes,
and large bodies and all types of bodies,
all sizes.
And it's just so much fun.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's all for a good cause.
And The fact is that is an extreme amount of fun. It really is. It sounds like a lot of fun, but I do get really cold.
I do
Well, he
too.
does too, actually. If it's gonna be too cold, he won't be able to do it. He's skinny
Yeah.
buff. So it's a leaning Todd.
I know he's buff. I know
it's-
he's buff.
it's,
and I'm sure
it's-
you are too, Rick. But
It's February.
it's
It's February 11th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Eventbrite Brewing. So we'll send you guys a link. If you don't want to run in your underwear, maybe
Yeah.
you could donate or something.
I would definitely donate. I'd be happy to donate. I love good causes.
We'll
I
send you-
donate to things all year long. And
Okay.
you know, the way I look at it is I never had children. And so I'm not contributing in the world to the world in that way, because I do believe that raising great kids is a big part of contributing to the planet and the world. So I always felt like my job then is to contribute what I can in other ways, and one
Right.
of those, what I can in money. So I contribute. It's a big part of what I do. And there you go.
That's
I
wonderful. We don't have any kids either. We don't have any kids either. We're not. Do you have any regrets about?
No, I don't, because I never wanted to raise a family. I mean, I like kids. I never wanted to raise a family. I wanted a partner,
Yeah.
But that doesn't make
Is
me
that bad?
selfish, does it?
Does that make it selfish?
No, I think that if a person sits down and says, do I feel like I would be a great parent? Do I feel like I could do that job well? Is that something I feel like I could do well and with pride and feel like I could be a good parent? See, that's what I did. I really looked inward in myself and said, do I think I could be a really good parent? And I thought to myself, I don't know that I could.
Right.
And so I did not have children.
I like too much alone time. No, I mean, I love him, but it's like sometimes it's not that I have to get away from him. It's I need a few minutes to myself. And when you have children, you can't have any of that ever, unless you're in the shower or.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
they
that's
say
it.
also too, like a lot of women say, I don't need another kid. I've already got a husband. Have you heard people say? I've heard people say that before because their husband's like their kid. Well, we're just two husbands, so we're just like two kids. So
Right.
we already have kids.
I think that everybody should be able to make that decision about whether or not they feel like they definitely want children. They want to love children. I want children. I think it should also be okay to say, I don't really think, for me, I really did say, as I looked in the mirror, I don't think I could be a good mom.
A good mom,
And-
but nobody, I mean, you have to make that judgment for yourself, right?
Yes, I wanted to make sure that if I thought I could not be a good mother to children, to give them the best mother they could have, I wasn't going to do it. I did not want to screw up two more human beings on this planet or another human being. I'm serious. I've known a lot of moms in my life, friends, people, neighbors who really screwed up their kids.
Right.
Really?
Right. Yeah, we've seen that too, actually. Did you ever see the movie Parenthood with Steve Martin? Remember that movie Parenthood with Steve Martin? And it was, I forgot. I think who else was in it? Todd?
I don't remember. Rick Moranis, maybe.
Maybe Moranis was in it. Yeah, I think too.
I don't.
Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Okay, so the Keanu Reeves had the best line in the movie. He was like, I think he thought that one of he was dating one of the lady's daughter, and they thought she might be pregnant, and he goes, it's so funny. You have to, in Keanu Reeves' typical way, he goes, you have to get a license to fish, to hunt, but any butt-bearing idiot can have a baby. So
Right.
we were like, I mean, shouldn't people like, because who want
Oops, you
to
guys
compare,
have
should they
frozen
like
up.
have to pass a test or
I don't know
something?
what that's about.
I mean, you have to pass a driver's
Ah.
test.
Right.
Shouldn't you have people pass I can have
Be
a
a
kid
parent.
test, a parent test? Why not?
We'll see.
I'm sorry, you guys just came back up on my screen. The
Did we-
connection was lost. Oops.
We had to go take care of our kids. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Selfish kids.
No, I wish there could be some kind of exam that people had to pass before they had children. I mean, it's like anybody can do it. why did God make it so simple for two people to biologically have a child?
Not for us.
I mean, how often these children get left out in the cold? I don't understand. I think everybody should do a self-assessment before they decide that, oh, my biological clock is ticking.
Right.
Well, if that's the reason you're going to have a child, because you feel your biological clock ticking, I think you should have a better reason than that.
I agree. I think that's one of the great. Now, like what's so funny now is though, because a lot of our gay friends are having kids, and so that's an interesting phenomenon. Because it's not like when our gay friends have kids, it's not like somebody had too many glasses of wine for dinner one night, 9 months later a kid pops out. It's a very purposeful. You have to really want that kid. It's expensive. It's if you hire a surrogate or adoption. So, but a lot of them, they do have to go through the process. I think that's why I think they have to really think through and think while they're doing it or whatever. So maybe there needs to be something in place for that too, for straight people. I don't know.
But I know families that all their kids turned out great and they all love each other. I think that's wonderful. But a lot of families have that.
I think that I wish it weren't so easy for people to have children. I really do. And I just think that it's sad that it's so easy for people to have children.
It is.
And yet it's the one thing that no matter what happens, you cannot take. It is almost impossible to take children away from bad parents, because that is the one unwritten law that you can. And I totally understand that, and it should be that way. But on the other hand, so many children suffer because of people who just decided to have children, or even didn't decide, they just happened, and there you go.
Well,
but I made a very
at least they can put it up for adoption for someone who really wants it. Like that's one of our friends has got a kid, and they adopted him.
Right.
And it looks like, from what we know, it would have been a horrible environment for him to grow up in. But now he's in a home where he's really wanted and all that kind of stuff. So at least maybe if you do end up finding yourself with a kid on the way, you can, at least a lot of people will be smart enough to put him up for adoption, right?
Some of them are.
I think some people have kids because they want to be alone, or they want something to love. I think that's kind of not a good reason to have a child.
Lousy reason.
Get a pet. If you want something to love.
We have a cat. That's better. It's cheaper.
Really, I know. I've had pets all my life. Love them dearly. They're my children.
Yeah, they are.
At least they're my children. And I love them dearly. Right. And I give them so much, and they give me so much, and I feel good about that. I feel good about that.
You tell us, what pets you have now? You've had several. Which one?
Oh, I've had pets all my life. I mean, I grew up in a family. My dad, we had 5 kids, and in addition to us 5 kids, we had I don't know how many pets roaming in and around. Because Dad was one of these who believed that the pets were children too. So he brought home strays, and he just had the softest heart for animals. And so our household, I've written about this before.
I thought you had, yeah.
Yeah, and the pets were, as far as at our house, the pets were at the dinner table with us. They were sitting around the table. And they could talk, they'd be carrying on conversations. And at night, they were tucked in with us too. So it was, they had an equal status, and we loved them dearly, and we cared for them, and we cried when they had problems and died, and we were excited and in love when we went out and got more. When one of them died, they were just part of our lives. And I thought that was really important, because I think that another thing that people and children need to learn is to be warm-hearted about other living creatures. And I will always think that's important.
I think that's important too. Let me ask you a question. do you find yourself a little suspicious of people who don't have pets? Like you have a second, like you come to somebody's house and they don't have a pet, or they don't, or they talk down about people who do. Do you find yourself getting a little like,
I do.
Do you? Okay, I do too. I don't feel so bad about it then.
I think there's something very wrong with them, because I think that being part of being human is to be loving toward all living creatures.
Right. Yeah.
I really do. I think that someone who is easily and happily goes out and loves enjoying the hunt. I really do.
But you think it's also weird that people who have kids but don't want to have pets, does that one thing make you go,
No. I think that they'll have kids and they don't like pets. There's something going on there. They were taught not to like pets. You have to be taught.
Yeah.
You have to be taught not to like pets, because if you see a baby crawling on the carpet and she sees a kitty or he sees a kitty, they'll go right over and want to pet.
Right.
I do that too.
Puppy. Babies and children, small children, are immediately drawn.
Right. So they have to. There's no instinctual thing to be against them. So something taught against.
You have to be taught to dislike them. So I think that there's a very real.
Okay.
thing.
All right. So I think we're going interesting theory here. So you come from a lot of siblings. I know. Do all of your siblings, do they share your do they have pets too?
Oh my goodness, yes. The Chapman kids were all about them. Yeah.
So do you think it's possible though? Like here's the funny thing about me and my family is nobody else in my family has pets.
Well, Becky did.
I mean, really, they had that puppy, but it was their kids, but they always griped and complained about it. You know. They were always griping and complaining about it. I mean, the girls love that pet. I have two nieces, and they had this dog named Truffles. They named it, Truffles.
Little Truffles. Is Truffles big or small?
It's a little dog, and he's not with us anymore. He left us about a year ago. He lived a good life. But what was so funny was that my sister and my brother-in-law were always griping about this dog, and and all that kind of stuff. And my other sister doesn't have any pets, and she's single.
Did you ask them now? And from where did you come? And you were griping about this dog. Seriously, your sister?
Right. So I hope they're not watching this. Oh my God, I just realized that. I guess you're just kind of scared. It's just funny. I just find it comforting to know that there's somebody else there who, like, if you go to someone's house and they're like, I don't have pets, or I can't stand pets, or whatever. But I find myself automatically trusting people who have pets or are more pet friendly than others. Like all of our friends have pets.
Yeah.
I can't think. Like I always joke, like we got this friend. And he's always had dogs, and we always joke, like, if you really lead a good life, then if you die, you can come back and be his dog, because his dogs are like, they live it like probably like your pets do, I imagine. Like they just live a great life. If you get rewarded and you die, you can reincarnated, you can come back as one of Di's pets. That would be like your reward.
That's right. Yeah, right now, Mark and I are the sort of neighborhood pet sitters and care. Well, right now, in fact, one of our neighbors on one side of us just lost their little, an older beagle. And his name was Scooby, and we were always, when they would leave town or need to go away for a weekend, we were always taking care of Scooby for them. On the other side is, we're the godparents, and I've told you about this, of Felix, the cat. And Felix now just basically has the run of our place. We open the door, keep our back door open. We have a veranda and a glass door to the veranda, and we just, crack that door, and he just is in and out. So his house is basically, he has his house and he has our house. He has two homes. So he's a lucky little guy.
See, like I said, come back as one of your pets.
He's so we lost our Miss Kitty a couple of years ago, and basically we've always enjoyed Felix, but basically he became an indoor cat here too. So his mom and dad love us because they like to travel, and we're mostly home. So they're like, would you like to take care of Felix? Well, and we're like, bring him on, bring him on. And we do sleepovers. So
Oh,
he sleeps over. He sleeps over when they're gone. And when they're home, even the back door is kind of open all the time, and he just
come on in.
Mm-hmm. So we technically have a kitty pretty much now.
Right.
So, and we enjoy him very much. Don't you love how all the pets have their own personalities?
Oh yeah,
especially cats.
It's unbelievable. Oh, cats their personalities are outrageous. They really are.
I was looking around for a second to see if Angel was anywhere. Lots of times it's so funny. What's funny is that she like if I'm on a Zoom call with business, she just seems to feel like know what's going on, and so she's like, I mean, she has run to the middle of the house, but I don't. And she's right, and she's a Siamese, so she's got attitude or whatever. We kind of rescued her. She was a rescue from a rescue, but she does have a lot of personality. She's very pretty, and she kind of knows it. Yeah. But but she does have her own personality. Like you said, personality. But she can be really sweet.
She has lots of male energy.
But she can be
when
like
you're walking, she'll attack you from behind at the ankles and try to grab you.
She'll try to tackle you, but then she'll sit in your lap. Especially she loves Todd. Todd's like her favorite.
She'll sit and purr and rub your chest. I'll get butterfly kisses here.
Yeah, I don't get butterfly kisses.
Oh.
I do get to rub and purr.
She's
sometimes.
two.
Or I get this sometimes she wants to join my Zoom calls. That's why I'm wondering. Like, of course, now we want her to show up, and she won't show up.
But I think she needs a playmate.
I know. Do you think we should get her a playmate? Do you think, because we've had two cats generally, but she's been or do we just I keep telling Todd she could be like an alpha. Yeah. I don't know. She might not like another cat.
Careful. You have to be careful.
It's all about her.
I think with the Siamese especially, but I think with all cats you have to be careful. The rule of thumb for me has always been that it takes a good 1 week. When you bring a cat in, it usually takes about 1 week for them to jockey for position and figure out who's going to be who and what. You have to kind of keep them apart for sure.
Okay.
When you're not around, they have to be kept in separate rooms.
Right.
And it'll take about a week. If it's going to work, it's going to be about exactly 1 week.
I think it's right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's kind of what happened to us. We had before Angel, we had two cats, Ben and Alex, and Ben was like a rescue, and I had him for a while, and I thought, well, I should get him a friend. And I live on the first floor of like a condo building, like I have a walk up and I have my own entrance. And one morning I was working and I have like these French doors down front with glass in them. And I thought I saw Ben's reflection looking out, but it wasn't. It was another cat.
Another tabby.
Another orange tabby. They were both orange. They were just standing there and they were just looking at each other. Yeah. And that was just after I just told Todd, said we should get Ben a friend. And so literally we let that guy in. They kind of for a week spent it like, and then finally they were like best buds for the rest of their lives or whatever. So
that's right. That's
and
right.
They were both orange tabbies, so they were, orange tabbies are they tend to be more friendly and low key there and all that kind of stuff. But we love Angel. Yeah. She's super cool. She's really sweet.
Oh, that's cool. Angel sounds really cool. Yeah.
Her name was Puna at first. I go, I'm not naming my girl Puna. That's
the person we rescued her from, which is a crazy story. He named her Puda, and we were like, what? We'll take the cat, but we won't take the name.
I looked at her face, and an angel popped in my head, and she has an angel on her back.
She has like a little angel wing on her back. Sure, she has like a little spot of fur on her back. Like
I didn't know to say that first.
Oh,
and so, but we were here to meet her, pick her up, and we thought we're not going to call her Puda. And then Todd said, what if we call her Angel? And she looked at it, was like, yes, let's do that. Like, yeah, please. Yeah, nothing.
Thank you.
Puda craziness.
No way. Like things not to name your cat.
Things never to name your cat. Or never name your pet. Felix is a cool name though. Felix the cat. Remember the cartoon? Felix. You remember the cartoon?
Absolutely. Well, Felix was a listen to me. Outside. What's the word? Felix was a
feral
yeah.
cat.
Our neighbors were living down in oh, okay. Just take my brain away from me right now. They were down. Forget it. I can't even think. Anyway, he was feral.
We know what that means. We know some people like that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
He was feral. But he took a liking to them. And he kept coming into their home and up on their porch, and the door would open and he'd run in. So he adopted them.
Oh, that's the way it usually works with cats. Like that's what Alex did with us, the guy who just showed up at our front door.
I live here.
No,
exactly.
Yes.
So he adopted them, and then they moved up here, and he's indoor outdoor, because in they're feral. It's hard for you to tell them that they can no longer be outside. So indoor outdoor, but we're in a small townhouse complex, and there's a little green space out behind our respective.
He's got the best of. He's got it made, man.
Yeah. So, and they're right next door to us. So he's either, in our place, in their place. And then there's one other lady on the other side of the green space who loves cats too. So she feeds them as well.
So I'm assuming since he's outside, he's got his claws, right? Y'all didn't declaw him.
This little guy, Felix, has got it made here. Made. So he's eating at 3 different places, and he spends the night over there. He'll spend the night over here when they're gone. He's got verandas to sunbathe on. He's just in really good.
It's Felix, man. What do you have to do to get a Felix gig?
I know, but they also, the ferals also though do have a little bit of a real edgy part to themselves too, though. He's got he can be real. His mood can change really fast.
Like I said, we know people like that. Yeah, we know some people too.
This is true.
So it can be that way. And I'm assuming Felix has his claws because he's outdoors, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we never could bring it to ourselves to take our cat's claws away. We don't have kids. So maybe that's because I have some friends who do adopt cats, and they have small kids and they do declaw them. I'm like, you know what? And we've had this debate. I'm like, at least they have it's not our preference, but I mean, it's better. I guess it's better that they adopted him and rescued him. They have a life or whatever. That's here.
Yes, so. As long as they can keep him inside. I think that's the most critical thing, because if they're going to be outside at all, they have to be able to protect themselves. So.
Angel keeps trying to go outside. Like she wants to go out. She wants to sneak outside. But then when we take her outside, she's like, no. And she runs back inside. But then we leave the door open and she tries to run outside. Like on one morning, like a few weeks ago, we got up and she was gone. We couldn't find her. She was nowhere to be found. She usually wakes us up in the morning. We thought, well, she's run away. So I go outside looking for her, and it's dark because, we get up so ridiculously early. And then I'm looking around, and then she just kind of walks up to the front porch like, what? I mean, what's the deal, man? I had a night out. Don't shoot me,
Yeah.
And then I open the door. She walks in and she looks back at me like
she's just hanging out like a teenage girl, just hanging out all
I guess so. I guess somewhere the night before, it was like around New Year's, she must have snuck out when we opened the door, and we never noticed it the next morning. And she just kind of had her night out. I don't know what she did. She's fixed, so I don't know what she could have done. And then she just kind of walked back in, and she's like, hey. What's up?
They're so funny. I had one time when I thought one of my kitties had gotten out, and I opened up the garage door, and it was raining, just pouring down rain. And I thought, oh, what the heck, he's gotten out. So I was standing at the garage, and I was looking out all over and thought, oh, geez, it's pouring rain. I gotta get out there, and I gotta look. And I looked down, and there next to me is the cat. His name was Moose Munch.
What?
And Moose Munch is standing right next to me, and he's looking. He's looking out the garage door, just like I am, looking around like, what are we looking for out here?
Crazy cat stories.
They just have the most personality. I am telling you, it's it's like dogs are one thing, cats are an entirely different thing.
Well, I also think people, like you said, people can be raised that way. I don't think I was raised as a pet person. Yeah, we did have a dog growing up, but he was kind of like, and so I remember like my parents would one time would have a cat, they wouldn't let me have it or whatever. They really weren't pet people. And I just thought I wasn't a pet person. Then I dated this guy with a couple of cats, and I kind of fell in love with them. I'm like, these are really cool, you know. And so I think you just had to be open.
We did cats and dogs. I mean, my sister now always has a menagerie, and the only reason Mark and I don't get a dog is because we don't have backyard.
Right.
And
yeah, exactly.
We are not now people who are going to get up when the little guy's got to go, or the little girl's got to go. We're not going to.
I know. It's all I can do to get myself up, right? To do that.
Head out there, you know, put on our clothes to go out, you know, out in public and take the dog out. So, like if you have a backyard, at least you can kind of just open the door and boot them out a little bit. So
can I jump topics on you for a second? I know I could probably talk cat tax. Because first of all, just so you know, I got to probably go here in about 15 minutes. Have a meeting I got to go to, so I'm a little limited on time. But I did want to ask you a question. I talked to Todd about this. This is like so you know, I'm in technology, and at the beginning of the year, everybody wants to figure out what's going to be the big predictions for the year, not just tech wise, but any wise. So I thought it would be really, since you're like a very well, you know so much about so many things. I thought, I wonder what Di's predictions are for 2023. Now, and let me qualify this by saying, like, if in January of 2020, if you'd asked people what their predictions for 2020, I don't think anybody got that one right. You know, so we always know there's this chance, but barring any like 2020 kind of pandemic crazy crap, do you have what is your predictions for 20? Do you have any big like major predictions? I might have some myself, but I'm kind of curious, like, what do you have? Do you have any big predictions? Tell us.
Yeah.
Like, what should we invest in? Bitcoin? No, not Bitcoin. It's just crash. But do you have any big predictions for 2023?
I think that 2023 is going to be a shit show.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Really?
What? That's.
And I don't normally speak like that.
You normally don't.
Di, where do you feel it?
Why do you feel it's going to be this type of show? I'm curious.
Di, I love your laugh.
Have you noticed what's happening in the House of Representatives?
Yes. So that's what you're talking about.
Oh, do we need to speak any further about anything?
So the House of...
The fist fights were going on. C-SPAN, you know, the C-SPAN, they have the cameras. And
always on, yeah.
They said that had they known that what was going to be happening when, you know, Kevin McCarthy was running for, you know, Speaker of the House, and they had the Trump team, those 20 people that are just hell-bent on destroying the way the House of Representatives is run and making it crash down and getting rid of all of the Trump haters and getting rid of Medicare and Social Security and everything, just making it all burn down. Those 20 guys and what they made Kevin McCarthy agree to for him to be Speaker of the House, the things they made him agree to, which are unbelievable. And he just gave away his soul. They
neutered him, basically. I mean, he's been basically castrated. He doesn't have any more balls left, right?
And these will not only apply to him, but every other Speaker of the House. They actually changed the rules, the congressional rules for the Speaker of the House going forward. And he did it. Oh, he's going to be.
He just went for the title. That's all he wanted was the title. Right?
Oh, his entire dream. I've been reading about him for years. His entire dream was to become Speaker of the House. This was his goal in life.
So he got his goal in life to become Speaker of the House, but at a great price. So you think this is going to make for a more dysfunctional year than we already have?
It gave them so much power to do the shit they want to do. It is going to be, and if Kevin McCarthy thinks he is going to be having a good time, if he thinks this little dream of his entire life thing is going to be good for him, he's got no idea what kind of monster he has just unleashed on himself and the country. It's going to be
Pandora's box. So House of Representatives, I can see that it's going to be a shit show, to use your words. Okay, so you're predicting a House of Representative crazy clown car, crazier than even more than it has been, because we got Marjorie Green Taylor, we got Laura, what's her name, from Colorado, Matt, what's his name, from Florida, you know,
Marjorie
Green Taylor, yes. I thought she was, honestly, I thought she was a drag queen, to be honest with you.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
But she's not.
And Lauren Boebert, whatever.
Boebert. I thought she was a porn star.
Oh, she's unbelievable. These people are unbelievable. And just the fact that the first thing out of their mouths is they want to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Do they know how many people in this country are literally, yes, hello.
He's on disability.
Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking, I broke a rib at Thanksgiving and was in the hospital.
Nice.
And it was horrifying. I had never, the pain was unbelievable.
Todd's cracked a rib before. They're pretty horrible.
Yes. And one of the administrators, I'm going to keep it short because you've got to go, Todd. So anyway, Rick. So anyway, but I got a call from an administrator. I'm in the hospital bed on morphine. The emergency room put me in there. And she said, Ms. Chapman, you need to know Medicare might not cover this.
Those are like the worst words you can hear. You're like,
I'm lying here desperately in pain on morphine, and you're telling me Medicare might no. Well, they don't cover
the words you never want to hear. Like you get my basement's flooded, my house is flooding. Oh, that's terrible. But insurance is not going to cover what?
Yeah, and I thought, well, and here you are. You've just had this accident. You're in the hospital with a broken rib. You're in so much pain you can't move because it's excruciating. Blah blah blah. So anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to deal with this another time. And anyway, this one thing though, I lost so much sleep, and then I get a copy of the bill. It's not the bill, but the hospital sends me what will be the bill that will be submitted to Medicare, and this and that is $37,000.
You believe that?
Oh,
this is what
I
hospitals
can't believe that. $37,000. Okay, that's a shit show.
Shit.
And people don't realize this. And these people who are in Congress, but these two people, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, these are young people. They might be 40-ish, and they have no idea what a hospital stay costs. And they have no idea what it's like to work all your freaking life so that you can have these benefits to help you out.
Right.
And $37,000, what am I to do with that? How do I, sell my house?
And again, that was for a cracked rib,
Yes.
Yeah, which is horrible. I'm not trying to cut. That's not a bad thing to have. It's a terrible thing to have, and they're very painful, from what Todd tells me. I've never had one.
It hurts to breathe.
Yeah, every breath is like, whatever. And I'm sorry. By the way, are you better now? Is everything okay? Are you all right? Are you okay?
I'm fine now. Thank you. I'm
Everything's
good.
Okay now?
You feel better after, 8 weeks really is a magic number, and then it's just another 4 and you're good, But no, I'm fine. But the whole time I'm hearing about this $37,000 hospital bill I'm going to get, these guys are all talking about, we're cutting Medicare, we're cutting Social Security. And I thought, I really want to use a lot of profanity with these people. I do, because
do it. Do it. I'm sure Taryn's got a beeper over there or something.
So many older Americans. And guys, I'm 68, okay? And I have worked all my freaking life since I was 15. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. My family didn't even have enough money to buy me clothes because I turned out to be a fuckingly tall, lithe girl who outgrew all her girlfriends and sister. And my mother didn't have enough money to buy me clothes, and I wore hand-me-downs. And all my pants hit right below the knee because no one else was 5'8" then. the tallest girls were 5'5".
Oh yeah,
And
you're a tall girl, right? Yeah.
you know, I'm 5'8", but in 50 years ago and 60 years ago, no woman was more than 5'5".
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
my,
Yes. You're probably terrible for you to find clothes.
I was wearing my cousin's hand-me-downs, and she was only 5'5". So, you know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
worked
I know what
all
you're
my
saying.
life to
So
get where I am, and I want what I have paid into to get my benefits
well, yeah,
now.
and I think what's so funny is like most people believe that, but when I like try to tell people who are like supporting a lot of their conservatives, I said you do realize that what they want to do is get rid of Medicare and then give you a voucher where you'll go and go get your own insurance, just like the rest of us. They get rid of Medicare, and they'll look at you and they go, they don't want to do that, and I go, yeah, they do, but it's so funny how they actually don't believe that. But these people aren't trying to hide it. They get up and they talk about it, but then people still vote for them, and you ask them like, "Do you support them?" I'm like, "No, I don't support that. That's crazy." I'm like, that's what you just voted for, right? And that's where I get the disconnect. Maybe when you first said shit show, that's what I thought you were talking about, is this crazy disconnect between what people vote.
But it is, and that's part of it, because they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
The reporters they don't want to know, they don't listen, they don't understand that what they are talking about is something that you're not getting because you're not listening, and because you don't know, because you don't bother to find out, and they are taking it out of your pocket.
Right.
You're not even realizing that what they're talking about is taking stuff out of your own pocket.
Exactly.
You're losing. You're losing on this deal.
That I can see that being a shit show. I guess we already used the word. We might as well go on. Taryn's gonna have to beep it. It's a legitimate word. People use it on HBO.
Right.
Everyone uses it now.
All right. So if you don't mind for a second, I wanted to. So Todd, do you want to? I was gonna see if we could all three make a prediction.
Okay. The thing is like a prosthetic is $10,000. A prosthetic.
Oh yeah, prosthetic. Todd's
so like, I don't have 10,000. So
yeah. Or like when I had, I'm blind in my left eye because of that detached retina. I looked at all those eye surgeries, and eye surgery came back, and they were $25,000-$30,000 for eye surgery or whatever.
What we do? Hop around on crutches?
Right, and all that. So I know what you're saying, though, when you look at those bills. But what I was going to say for a second, though, if you wanted to, just before we run out of time, if you didn't mind, since the beginning of the year, I was going to see if we could all make a prediction. So you're predicting a shit show, mostly because of the House of Representatives, and a lot because of the medical and all that kind of stuff, which I'm totally on board with that.
I think we're all becoming more divided.
This is going to be a shit show.
Shit show. Todd's thinking we're coming more divided.
And divisive.
The divisiveness will continue, and all that. So I'm a techie. So I think that 2023 is going to be the year of artificial intelligence. That's my prediction. That we're going.
You're right.
But I haven't switched to it. I don't think it's going to be what people think it's going to be. I think everybody right now is thinking artificial intelligence is going to take over. I think what's going to happen is we're going to find out it's not everything people's cracking it up to be. Right now it's overhyped, but people are. Are you still there?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, that's one of my predictions. What artificial intelligence is going to start becoming more predominant, especially in business and stuff like that. But it's not going to be like I'm hearing all these people talk about artificial intelligence is going to start replacing jobs. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if anything, it's going to make new jobs or whatever.
Okay.
But it's going to be. But this is going to be from a technical perspective. I know that's not as much fun as a shit show, but it's going to be the year of artificial intelligence. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Now that doesn't mean by the end of the year we're going to all be having robots. And Rosie the robot, or we're going to be living in like Blade Runner or Dune or whatever. But I do think this year's going to be the year you really start to see it blossom. But it's not going to take over like everybody thinks it's going to take over. People aren't going to be like here's one like I read this thing where writers. I heard this guy said, I got on. So you've heard of Chat GPT? You've heard this in the news. People talk about
that.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can go to chatgpt.com and whatever. Basically, it's an online artificial intelligence. And so you can go to it and just chat with it. Now, the problem with it right now, it's just an experiment that a bunch of people are doing like academically. So it crashes a lot and it's busy. But I've actually set up an account and talked with it. And I ask it like you can ask it questions. Like you can say like, I would say, hey, I need to write a blog post. I wrote a blog post about the decline of social media. That's the other thing. I think social media is going to decline also. Going to continue declining. It's already declining. So I typed in the top. I said, what do you think about the decline of social media? And it went on and it said, oh, I think that's definitely on the decline. And it said, Facebook lost 77 billion this past year. They quoted all these facts. And I go, so if I wanted to write an article about that, what would your opinion be? And it said, here's what I wrote. And it just literally within 5 seconds mapped out 5 points on why it thought was the decline of social media. And I said, can you make this a little more exciting? And he goes, sure. He goes, imagine you're sitting at a coffee shop and you're looking at your social media and you're just not excited anymore. And he was writing this out. I go, well, that's actually not too bad. But then if you ask it to write like an entire, it can give you like ideas. Here's where I'm talking about. Because then this writer wrote this article like, well, we're doomed. Writers are doomed. But I say no.
Say that.
Yeah, I say no. Because then what I said was actually I said, could you write an article or write a blog post for me on why social media's decline? And it popped out like a page of stuff, but it was useless. And let me tell you why. It was redundant. It had no personality. It said a lot of the same thing over and over again. A human would still have, if you just published that, it would be something like a third grader wrote, or whatever. So I think it could give you some ideas and some things to think of. It could be like a research. So it could be like a research assistant. Yeah. But at the end of the day, and I was in fact, I may write a blog post of like why artificial intelligence is not going to destroy writing. There's a story in technology that goes like this. Around the turn of the 1900s, when player pianos were invented, all the musicians in the world sued. The Musicians Guild sued to say, we've got to stop this from happening. If player pianos get made, nobody's going to want piano players anymore. And there's actually on records of them filing lawsuits to try to block the production of player pianos. And of course, that didn't happen. Player pianos were still made. They were allowed to be made, but it did not replace piano players. And I sort of think artificial intelligence is going to have a little bit of that. Everybody thinks they're going to replace it. They're going to maybe add something. They might even be like they could be a good writing assistant to you. Like if you got on Chat GPT and you were like having a little brain block, you go, hey, give me some ideas. What are your thoughts about this? And it could give you some thoughts, but you would still have to turn them into real writing. Does that make sense?
Wow, that is so interesting. I was getting really pissed off there for a minute.
You're talking about that does sound like a shit show to me, but
I thought, wow, because I didn't hear so much about it, but I didn't know what it is, and I thought. I'm so glad you told me about that.
Basically, you could go set up an account and you basically just chat with it. Now, the other thing you can ask it to do is we've been playing, like you can go to these artificial intelligences and you can say, hey, draw me a picture of Superman and King Kong fighting on top of the Empire State Building, and literally in 1 second these things can pop out a pretty decent graphic. So I'd be more concerned if I was a graphic artist, to be honest. These artificial intelligences can write, they can draw, and so like me and my team, we were playing with one. We found one. We actually bought a little trial for one. And so instead of like we said, create a graphic that blah, blah, and we wrote it very specific. And we were like, that's not too bad, So that would be more what I would be concerned about. But for you as a writer, you might find that it could actually help you spark some ideas. Think about if you had a writing assistant with you, you could just talk to and say, tell me, what are your thoughts about this? And y'all pop some ideas back and forth, but then you go to your computer and you make it into a real writing piece.
Right. Well, you guys, next time we do a show, we should talk about the future of this and how quickly you, Rick, think that all of this could come together and totally change the world with the AI, because it sounds like that's going to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, and I'll leave you this because I know we're getting close to the time, but because this totally fascinates me and I'm such a big geek. But so right now, like one of the other things they're saying this AI program can do is you could say, hey, it can program, it can code, and go write me some code so I can produce a website that shows people how to do a mortgage calculator. And one guy actually did this on a video, and this thing literally within like 3 minutes popped out the code, and it was like 90% right. So here's the real thing that's gonna make your mind blow. What if you come to an AI and said, write an AI program that's better, that can perform better than you can perform? So what if all of a sudden AI starts writing their own programs to make themselves better and make themselves better, but they can do it infinitely faster than humans. So all of a sudden, like right now they're at GPT-3. What if GPT-3 wakes up and said, hey, GPT-3, create GPT-3.4, and literally within an hour it pops out a new program. You bring that online, and all of a sudden it's it can write better. And so science fiction people call this the singularity. When a program is going to get so smart, it can make better versions of itself. And they say that we're now approaching that singularity.
Well, I was going to say, this is what science fiction films are made of.
Exactly. Right? It's what Terminator, Skynet, Matrix. Yeah, every. But the funny thing is, we've been watching movies about this for a generation, but actually might be getting close to what it's really going to be like.
Wow. I mean, really, we're kind of on a brink of where something about the future is going to start changing really quickly here.
And so that's one of my predictions this year. It's going to be the year of AI. AI is going to become a big thing. Now, I wish I could tell you. I don't think it's going to be as big as people's going to be. I think it's going to have this is going to be the year it's going to join the spotlight. Now, that's just my prediction. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe this will be the year that we can stick AI on the House of Representatives.
You know what? I was just thinking that maybe if we just replace them with a bunch of AI chatbots, they could get some shit done.
There's a way.
I'm not convinced Marjorie Green Taylor's not a fembot, though. She could possibly be a fembot. It's very totally possible.
We'll see.
Who's supposed to be a fembot?
Marjorie Green Taylor, she could be a fembot. Remember fembots?
Kinda.
Did you ever watch The Bionic Woman?
Oh, yes.
Remember she fought the fembots? They were like the robot versions of themselves. Their faces would fall off, and they had the scary electronics.
That's how you'll bring.
And they would shoot bullets out of certain parts of their body. Remember the fembots? I think she might be one.
There's something there.
Something to think about. All right. So I have a meeting at 3:30 I have to go to. I have to depart this conversation.
All right. Well, we've been having fun.
Always fun.
Talk again soon.
All right. We're going to be hanging up. Thanks, Di. I had fun. All right. Glad we got to talk.
Hi, Taryn.
Bye, Taryn.
Bye, Taryn.